I start the crafting video, I'm going to show you how I'm making some banana bread for my husband. I want to give my family something to eat and snack on all day because I'm going to be doing a lot of crafting. So I'm just putting in my flour, and I use the whole wheat flour. That way you don't have to feel too guilty about it. The whole wheat, just a little bit, a little less calories and adds a little bit more fiber. And so I'm just going to add in some baking soda right now, and then I do have to add in a little bit of salt. I will put the recipe in the comments for you, but this is a really simple banana bread recipe that I just thought that I would make really quick, again, so that my family had something to snack on while I was crafting. And as you can see, I splattered some flour out of the bowl there. So now I'm just using some stevia instead of sugar, and it really turned out nice. I have often in the past been really hesitant to use stevia or Truvia just because of the aftertaste, but I want you to know that this turned out really nicely if you are, trying to eat healthier or eat better in the new year, or maybe avoid some sugar. But I am going to add in those dark chocolate chips into this banana bread because you got to have a little something, right? So now I'm just putting in a couple of eggs, and again, I will link the recipe that I used into the box, into the comments. And that right there is just the mashed bananas that I used. That was just 2 large mashed bananas. They had sat for a couple of days just to get a little bit more ripe, and then they were really easy to mash up with a fork. So I'm just going to add in some a teaspoon of vanilla, and that's a little trick that I learned years ago from Rachel Ray, just pouring it into a little cap bowl and then just dumping it in. I used to love watching Rachel Ray, so I learned a lot of cooking shortcuts from her. So now I just added in some of the milk, and I did use the lactate milk because my daughter does not, she has lactose allergy, so I get the lactate milk there. And now I'm just adding in some butter. So the butter has to be melted. So as you can see, it's room temperature, but it needs to be melted a little bit. So I did take it over to the microwave and take care of it like that. And now I'm just blending everything in together. I did switch over to a little plastic spatula instead of the whisk. The whisk was getting a little clogged. So now I'm just putting in some of those dark chocolate chips. Dark chocolate just has a lot of antioxidants, and it's just better for you. So again, just trying to do something a little bit more healthy this season. So we just used some of the whole wheat flour, we used the dark chocolate chips, and we used the stevia instead of sugar. So moving on, I decided I'm going to also make some chicken and rice soup. That way I know I have dinner covered because I was going to do a whole day of crafting. So I thought maybe I would just show you how I do it. It's really simple and easy. I just get out my crock pot. I get all those vegetables from Walmart. They're $1 a bag. And then I just use some of the, I have, whenever we order from the Chinese food, when we take out like Chinese food, they always give you so much rice. So I always save some. So, and this is just how I use it before it goes bad. So I just put some chicken into my little crock pot there. And the chicken came from Target. It's the chicken tenderloins by Good and Gather. They're actually really good. So I had not used them before, but I did use them in this video, and they were really good. So again, just using some of these vegetables from Walmart. They're just $1 a bag for most of their vegetables in Walmart. And so this is a really, really inexpensive meal. And then again, the rice is left over from when we ordered out Chinese the other night. So I just added in some more of the Good and Gather chicken broth, and then I just put in some dill weed, and then I'm just going to put that right into my crock pot, and then I'll add the rice later. And this is how it turned out. It turned out so good. It just was in the crock pot for 6 hours. The little chicken tenderloins, they just fell apart, and everything is just so nice and happy together. And it was just such a easy, healthy meal. Now, if you see the little specks of brown in there, I added in some flaxseed. Flaxseed, I always try to add that to as much as I can. It's just really good for you, lots of omega-3s. Now I'm just gonna make myself some tea with this is my favorite little mug. As you can see, it's got some tea stain going on there. I got it a couple years ago from Home Goods, and oh, not tea, I added coffee. That's right, it was a coffee morning. And so that's my Southern butter pecan coffee. This is just what I do, guys, before I start crafting. I make sure I make something good for my family. I get something going in the crock pot, and then I make myself a nice cup of coffee with my favorite coffee mug. It's pink, it's got the little roses on it, and I just put in my Southern butter pecan because that's my favorite from International Delight, and that is how our banana bread turned out. It was so good. It wasn't too sweet. It was really rich, and it was moist, and then we had the dark chocolate chips. It was so great. I did add butter to it, because you have to have butter. I do use real butter, okay? I know I was trying to make this to be a little healthier, but I do believe in using real butter. So I did add some of that, and this turned out really nice. And I'll link the recipe into the comments, but this all just turned out really great. And there it is with the melted butter. It was so good. I'm gonna have to make that again. But this is just what I do, like pre-craft. I just like to get some goodies going, and that way I know my family's not gonna starve. So I just wanted to share that with you. So right now I'm gonna make myself a nice pretty spring wreath to go above my mantle. All of the flowers did come from Dollar Tree. And now the wreath form there, that did come from Michael's, and it was $5. I did try to get that as inexpensive as possible, but that was the best I could do. So the wreath form itself was $5, but everything else did come from Dollar Tree, so it did still turn out to be a very inexpensive spring wreath project. So I think total I might have spent maybe $10. So I'm just using some of that Dollar Tree moss that you get at the Crafter Square. It's just $1, and I'm tucking it into the wreath there. And what that's gonna do is just give it a little bit more of a natural effect. I'm gonna take a little sip of coffee. A little natural effect. It just kind of adds to the wreath, and it just makes it seem a little bit fuller. You don't see so much of the grapevine. So I just wanted to do that. And now that greenery there with those little white buds, I did get that last year from Hobby Lobby, and I always get my flowers from Hobby Lobby 50% off. So I did use that whole little bundle there, and as you can see, I just had it going with the shape of the wreath. Some going up, some going down, and I'm doing it asymmetrical. So I just wanted to show you there, but you can see how nicely it looks with that moss. And again, those little the greenery with the little white buds, those did come from Hobby Lobby. Now I'm just adding in some white roses from Dollar Tree. And I did use 2 bundles of the white roses, and I'm just putting them in to complement where the greenery already is. I have some going up, some going down, a couple in the middle, trying to make it look as natural and cohesive as possible to go with the greenery. Everything is going in the same direction, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So I am going to use these little purple, I believe it's larkspur, and just to have them kind of sticking out here and there for a little bit of detail. I'm not going to use those if you see on the flowers from Dollar Tree, the grass that kind of sticks out, you can see it in the picture there. I did not use that on this wreath. I'm not really too fond of it. I'll show you how I use it later on though. But as you can see, I'm just tucking in the purple larkspur, and Honestly, I think it looks really pretty with just the white and the purple. So if you're doing a more neutral tone this spring, you could just stop with the white and the purple if you wanted to do that. I have been really loving peach, these little soft peach roses, and the combination of peach with purple, in my opinion, that is just really speaking to me right now. I just think that they set each other off so nicely. So I did incorporate some of the peach roses into this, and I just really love how the peach and the purple and the green from the greenery just all really complement each other so nicely. I feel like the peach just really kind of set a lot of the color off, and I just wanted to share that. If you if you take the color wheel and you were to bend it in half, a lot of the colors that were in opposites really go nicely together, like yellow and blue, peach and purple, pink and green. A lot of colors that maybe you wouldn't have thought would look nice together actually really complement each other. So I just love how this peach and this purple are looking together, and the white just kind of gives it a little bit. The white is just a nice background that kind of also sets everything off as well. So I do have some winter greenery left over, and I have evergreen trees in my backyard. And evergreen, even though we do use it a lot, for our Christmas crafts, you can still use it in your spring and summer florals as well, because evergreens are evergreen. They bloom all year. So there's nothing wrong with adding in some evergreen to some of your spring or summer floral crafts. And honestly, I think it looks really nice, and I think that they complement each other. So I'm just tucking in some of these little evergreen sprigs that I had used from some Christmas florals that I had done. I had some little evergreen greenery left over, so I just decided to use them all up and tuck them into this wreath, and just making it look very full and very, as natural as possible, with just, everything going in the same direction, and just really making it look cohesive with the wreath, and how the greenery is going like around the wreath. I really hope I'm making sense when I describe these things to you guys. So I also got from the Dollar Tree some of this light purple. Now it's lighter than the larkspur, and it's like these little dainty little wildflowers, and they're like a pale purple, and I'm just tucking them in, and I really love how the peach and the purple are just accenting each other. I think it looks so pretty. I was really happy with these colors. I know there's a lot of neutral styles, going on, and a lot of people like that, and that's great, but I just really wanted to have some color. I guess maybe it's winter, and it's so cold outside and there was snow on the ground. I guess I just really wanted to have some pretty spring colors, so I just decided that's how I was going to do this wreath. So but I really love how the pale purple mixed with the dark purple and the greenery, and I really love how that oh goodness, I can't think of the word now. It is the moss. Oh my goodness, I couldn't think of that word. I really love how the moss is adding to everything. I really feel like that was just such a nice touch for the wreath. And so now I'm just going to add in a few pine cones. And again, they were left over from Christmas, and I thought they would look really nice here with the wreath, because again, I have evergreens in my backyard, and I just love putting everything together. I think they just look so nice. And pine cones, and they're year round. They're not just for Christmas crafts. The same with the winter with the evergreen, the same with that. So just going to use a little bit of extra hot glue there. I just want to make sure that my pine cones are secure. But yeah, this really turned out so nicely. I can't wait to show you guys the finished product. But again, I really love how that moss, I can remember the word now. I really love how that is adding to this wreath and just giving it such a natural touch. And so that is what we have, and I'm going to hang it right. I hung it on the wall so that you could get a better look of it at first, and I think it's so pretty, guys. I really love how it turned out. As you can see, I have everything. It's going in the same direction, but then it's also going in its own direction. It's just so, I just really love how this turned out. It just looks really natural in my opinion. Again, I really love the moss. I love adding in the pine cones. I think the colors are just so pretty, the purple and the peach. I was really happy with how they turned out. And then there it is on my mantle, and I have it hung on an old window frame that I hung up on my wall, and then I just put the wreath right on top of it like that. And then there's my mantle, and it's just very simple, but I just love how that wreath turned out. I really hope that you guys do too. And again, it only cost me about $10 to put that whole wreath together. So it was really economical, just a beautiful spring wreath on a budget. And, I just really love it. So I hope you guys got some great ideas from that as well. And so now I'm just going to do something really simple. Just going to take one of those little planters that you get from Dollar Tree. They always have like a series of 4, and there's my little dog giving me kisses. They always have a little series of 4. And this one, I just chose the polar bear because it is still technically winter. So I wanted to get the polar bear one, and I'm just doing a simple little neutral, easy little floral craft. Just taking some of the floral foam that you get again from Dollar Tree, and just putting some of it into the little polar bear there, and just taking a little bit more of that floral, that green floral that I have, that I had got from Dollar Tree last year. And this is going to be a really, really simple, easy craft. So I did realize that my floral foam was up a little high, so I did take it out and I did reinsert it into the little polar bear there, because I felt like the floral was sticking up too far and you weren't going to be able to see his little face. So I just took a little bit more moss, and I'm going to put a Post-it note with the word moss on my computer screen so that I don't forget what it's called anymore. So I just put a little moss to cover up any of the foam, and then I just hot glued the floral right into it. So just for a little something extra, I just wanted to put a little simple bow around the little polar bear's neck. And it's just a piece of twine, and it's just to give it a little something extra. This is a really simple, easy, neutral craft. So if you are doing neutral, this would work really well if you're trying to mesh winter with early spring, because I feel like we're at that in-between stage right now. So I have the little polar bear, and I added him to my mantle. I think he turned out really cute, guys, and he was less than $2. So again, I had the greenery on hand, I had the moss on hand, I had the twine on hand, and the polar bear himself was only $1. And because I did use the same kind of floral, he ties in with my wreath up there, so they're not so different. So they kind of tie in together, and you can see the moss with the little polar bear and then the moss on the wreath, and they just tie in together. So I hope you guys like that idea also. And so now I found this little wooden love sign from Michael's, and it was a while ago that I got it, and it's at the little, when you go to Michael's and you're checking out, sometimes they have like a whole row of all those little bins of like really inexpensive crafts. So that's where I picked that little love sign up, and it was only 99 cents. So I'm just taking some of this glaze, and I'm just going to stain it. Now my glaze, I was a little short on my glaze, so if you had seen, I added a little bit of water to it, just using a spray bottle and just kind of thinning it out with a little bit of water to stretch it and make it go a little further. So now I'm just going over the entire thing with the glaze, and then now I just wet a paper towel and I'm just wiping off the excess, just to get it to just get into the wood a little bit more. Now, as you can see, I do have some of the I have to go back and make sure I get all of it covered. And I am going to finish off the back. You'll see how I do that in just a moment. But I'm going through all the little crevices now because, as you can see, some of the stain didn't quite get into all of the little crevices. So I like to go back and make sure that I have it all covered, because otherwise it would be really, really noticeable. And so again, just going in with a damp paper towel and just wiping off all the excess. And I saw that, and of course I loved it because, you know, we have our Gracie and we have our Chihuahua, and then we have our cat. Of course, we have Salem. So I thought the little paw could be multi-purpose for multi-animals. So I got that really pretty piece of scrapbook paper. I got that a while back at Hobby Lobby. I always get it when they're on sale, when they're half off. So it was 59 cents, so it was about 30 cents for me. And then I'm just going to put that on the back of that little love sign with the little paw, so that you see the floral design of the paper come through the holes. I thought that would just be a nice little touch. And because spring is on its way, I guess I'm just doing a lot of floral, maybe, and you know, we're kind of like Valentine's is right around the corner, so I'm just getting into some florals and a little bit of romantic little crafts. So I hope that you guys like that. So I'm just going to take some Mod Podge and put it onto here, because we are, you know, again, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and you know, we all love our fur babies. So I thought that this was going to be perfect, like kind of like a little Valentine's Day craft for your fur baby. So I just Mod Podged the paper onto the little sign there, and I just cut out a little V because of the little twine there to hang it. So I just cut that out, as you can see right there, and then I'll go back with a little bit of Mod Podge and I'll just make sure that it sticks down and lays flat. It worked very well. So I really love that Mod Podge. They also carry the Mod Podge at Dollar Tree. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's in a smaller container, but still, you know, for $1 you do get a fair amount, I think. So there we have it so far there, and I didn't want to just leave it. You could just leave it like that if you wanted to, but I just wanted to add a little something special to it. And so here I am debating on what I want to do. So I decided to get a little bit of greenery, and those are some boxwood. It's like my little bag of greenery. There's a little bit of boxwood that I had gotten from Walmart, and then I had another little piece of the evergreen. And I kind of thought, you know, I don't want this to be too springy, and I like to add the evergreen and kind of blend it all. So that's what I did, and I took one of those roses that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree that I had used in the wreath, and I decided I was just going to use another one for this here, and it was a really bright white. So as you can see, I took a little bit of that glaze and I just kind of touched up the tips a little bit and aged them. And so I thought that the rose was a little too big for the sign, so I took off some petals just by taking off the green plastic part and pulling off some of the fabric petals, and then I just kind of hot glued it all back together so it wouldn't fall apart. You can always do that, and that way it just kind of made it look like a little smaller little rosette instead of a big rose, because I wanted it to be size appropriate for this little sign that we were doing. And so I did decide I wanted to take some more of the moss. I just like the look of that moss on things. I don't know what it is. It just gives it such a natural presence, I think. So then I just hot glued the little rose to it just like that. And I decided I was going to put a little bit of the greenery, and I just snipped off a few pieces there just like that. Because again, it has to be, you always want it to be size appropriate. So I just snipped off some little greenery, and there's Gracie coming over to see what mommy was doing. And so I just put a few little sprigs of that greenery on there. And I decided also, I really love lavender. I think lavender is such a romantic flower. I don't know what it is. I just really love it. And I had a couple sprigs of this dried lavender left over. So I just added that to the little sign just like that. And then I thought, you know, it needs a bow because we're moving into, you know, Valentine's Day and spring, so I wanted to have a cute little bow to go with it. So at first I was going to use the twine, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll do something a little different. And I always get my ribbon from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has they do have some really nice ribbon. Sometimes I will get something from Hobby Lobby, but this time I decided to use that little ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I just wanted to do something really simple. So I just took a couple cuts of it, of the little the cream colored little ribbon trim from Dollar Tree, and the little red ribbon trim there from Dollar Tree, and I just tied them in the middle with a little piece of twine. I just wanted to give it a little bit of something extra, so I just kind of hot glued it right there. And then I decided I was still going to make a cute little shoestring bow, and I made like a little double shoestring bow just by taking a piece of twine and doubling it over, and then it's like a little double shoestring bow, as you can see right there. Really simple. I love my little shoestring bows. I make them, I think, almost every episode, that every show that I make, I have to do my little shoestring bow. And so there is our little finished design right there. And again, that was just a little 99-cent wooden craft from Michael's with a piece of 30-cent scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, and we just stained it and we Mod Podged the paper to the back and added a pretty little rose. And you can see how I aged the tips of the rose a little bit to tie it in. I didn't want the rose to look so bright white, and just added a few little pieces of greenery that we had laying around. This craft didn't even cost $2, guys, and I think it turned out really cute, and it's in my front entryway, and I really hope that you like it too. I hope I give you some ideas. It was fun to make, and it was easy to make, and I just think it turned out really cute. So here we go. We're going to do another little sign. Now that's a Let It Snow sign that I got from Dollar Tree, and that's a love sign behind me there that came from Dollar Tree too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the love sign to the back of the Let It Snow sign, because I wanted to build it up a little bit. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. So I thought that if I did it like this, that would accomplish what I want to accomplish. And so now I'm drinking tea. As you can see in my little teacup there, I've got my tea bags. So I'm always drinking coffee or tea whenever I do any of my crafts. I also watch TV and I watch other craft channels, but I'm always drinking coffee or tea or something hot because it's been so cold. So here I am just painting the back of that sign with the vanilla craft paint. Again, just plain old vanilla craft paint from Hobby Lobby, and it was on sale when I got it. So again, I always shop my sales. So now I'm just going to I'm going to take the love sign, but with the love sign, it was a very, very bright white. So I decided I wanted to age it up a little bit because I'm really liking doing some of these. I'm not really doing a lot of bright white crafts. I like to use the whites and I like the vanillas, but I also like to age them up by using that glaze and then just putting it on and then wiping off the excess. It just gives it a nice aged effect. I feel like it's a nice, like, romantic effect. So I just wanted to age it up a little bit, just like that. And so I am going to take some more of that vanilla paint there, and I'm going to go over the little leaves on the little wreath that's on the love sign because it was just a little too green. I wanted to give it a little bit of depth and dimension, so I just took a little bit of that vanilla paint that I used to paint the other sign with, and I'm just going over the leaves ever so gently, just like a little dry brushing technique, just to give them a little something, just a little something extra. So now, as you see what I'm doing here, I am, and there my glue fell out of my gun. So I'm just going to hot glue this down to the sign. Now I will tell you, I did end up having to glue it again using some tacky glue because even though the sign was dry, for some reason the hot glue was just not cutting it. So I did have to put some tacky glue on it, and then I put some more hot glue on it, and then I laid it down, and then I ended up putting a heavy book on top of it so that it would set. There you go, it's my Mexican cookbook. And so that is what we ended up with when it was all done. I just added a little bit of greenery to the top and to the bottom, the same way that we did with the little love sign with the paw print. I did the exact same thing. I just added a couple of those roses that I had left over from the wreath, and I just added some to to the top and to the bottom. And this is all just some scrap florals and scrap greenery that I had left over from Christmas, guys. And then I had some of the lavender left over. I used the lavender in another craft. So this is just some scrap materials that I had left over. So this love sign here that you see did not even cost me $3. The love sign itself was $1. The Let It Snow sign was $1. And then I just used some scrap florals that I had laying around. So this sign did not even cost $3. And I really hope that you like it. I built it up, and I wanted to do something with that love sign as soon as I saw it. But I also wanted to show you some Valentine's Day and some early spring decor that wasn't red or pink, something a little bit more neutral. And so that's why I wanted to do this, because I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day, but it's also perfect for spring. So, you know, you kind of get double duty out of it, right? And so as you can see, we just kind of gave some more dimension to that little greenery right there by adding some paint to it, and then just some simple florals. I just think it looks really sweet and romantic, and I love it. I think it would look great in an entryway. You could make 2 of them and put them on either side of a mantle. You know, there's so many possibilities. So I hope you like this video, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the comments.